To understand about Oracle datapump. Oracle datapump has been released in Oracle 10G and it's a supersede of export and import. Now Oracle datapump has got a lot of features to improve the performance of loading using parallelization clause. You can stop and export dump process in between, do your other work, so there is less load on the server, and when your main work is over you can even start the export dump process again. These are some of the features and advantages of Oracle datapump. There are a lot of filtering capabilities in datapump. There are many features, but before knowing the features of datapump, let's understand the architecture of Oracle datapump. The architecture of Oracle datapump. So here in this diagram we'll try to see the architecture of datapump. The Oracle datapump comprises of export dump and the import dump client programs. So if you go to the DOS prompt and type expdp, now this is like the export command, and type the username / password, give a directory where the dump file is being created and the dump file name, say ba.dp. This will result in creation of a dump file of the schema scott/tiger in the location where test dir is mentioned. Similarly, we have import dump client for importing the data from the dump to the Oracle database. Now when we fire this command export dump or import dump, when we fire this command export dump and import dump, Oracle internally converts the procedures. Oracle automatically calls the packages or Oracle APIs, that is dbms underscore datapump and dbms underscore metadata. dbms underscore datapump does the role for loading and unloading data. Now this package procedure can also be called from PLSQL, and you can decide the various parameters which will affect the dump. The export dump process actually calls dbms underscore datapump package procedure, and the other package procedure which it calls is dbms underscore metadata. Now metadata means data about the data. So dbms underscore metadata is used by Oracle datapump process to load Oracle dictionary related data. Now we see here in this particular diagram, the diagram above on the left hand corner, top corner, we can see the various computers which are various client machines, and they are connected to a server. Now when you fire export dump or import dump from the client machines, those are these machines, the dump files are never created on these client machines, but it is created on the server. That's the major difference between export import and export dump and import dump. While in export import, the dump files are created in the client machines, while in export dump and import dump, the background processes, everything runs in the server. So it becomes imperative for you to create a directory where the dump files will be stored. Now you see here, this is how you give a directory for creating a say a test for this particular file. Like say we have created a directory called test and its location is CPI solution. Now here the directory which we created was test dir. Now to see the location where test dir is pointing to, we go into SQL and query the table dba underscore directories. Say we said select directory name comma directory path from dba underscore directories. We see here test dir is the default directory and it is pointing to C colon St. James. So when we fire this particular export dump, the dump file is created in C colon St. James. Also note, while we are firing export dump or import dump in dump programs, the log file is automatically created. Now what we do is we will try to understand the way Oracle datapump accesses data. Oracle accesses data in two ways, either using the Oracle datapump method or the direct path. Whichever is faster, the Oracle chooses that method for loading or unloading data. Oracle chooses Oracle datapump, or that's called the external table path method, when a table has a global index on multi-partition table, or a table is in a cluster, or table has got active triggers. Then Oracle chooses Oracle datapump or external API, external table API access method over direct path method. Now the basis of Oracle datapump, the basics of Oracle datapump is also used in transportable table space, the grids and the standby server. Now we understood the architecture of datapump and the way the Oracle accesses data. Now what we do is we will try to understand the various processes involved in Oracle datapump. The Oracle datapump consists of the following processes. While you fire export dump and import dump command, the client process in the client machine is activated. The client process calls the shadow process. The shadow process is called the foreground process or the master table process. The shadow process calls the master process, and the master process calls the worker process. The worker process calls the parallel query process. Now the client program calls the shadow process. The shadow process makes the master table, activates the master processes. The master process does the job of managing dump files, monitoring jobs, checking the log progress and performing logging operations. The master process calls the worker process. The worker process does the part of loading metadata and unloading metadata, and also loading data and unloading data. Now if parallel clause is specified, the worker process divides the role among various parallel query processes. Now there's one more thing to understand in Oracle datapump is the creation of master table. When the shadow process calls the master process, when we fire an export command, a master table is created in that default user. Say for example, this particular user Scott, we see the structure of the table. Now when we fire the export dump command, we see a master table will be created in this schema, that is in this schema user, that is Scott. So we say slash and enter, and now within a few minutes a master table is going to be created here. You see here a master table is created. The table name is sys underscore export underscore schema 01. Now once when the export process is over, the details of this table is stored in the dump file and this table is automatically dropped. So now we fire desk underscore sys underscore export underscore schema 01. This is used by worker process. This program is used by worker process and master process. And once when this load of data or this dump file is generated, automatically this table is dropped from the system. When we import, the Oracle reads the master table and loads the necessary tables into the necessary schema. So you understood how important the master table is in Oracle. In the next video we will understand more about using export import dump processes.